What's up YouTube, Capital G here, got some Crusadia duels for you guys to check out. These ones are going to be drastically different than what you're used to seeing from the archetype. When I think about Crusadia, I generally think of a deck that is very similar to Cyber Dragons, can one-shot the opponent or OTK them easily, and a deck that always wants to go second. The decks defend a little differently. Crusadia tend to run not like a lot of hand traps, but they generally run Kaijus because you can basically have those Kaijus in the same column as the Equal Max, and the Equal Max will gain attack off of the Kaijus. Plus, a lot of times the Equal Max can attack all monsters, but this guy actually is using a hand trap, and it's a little bit of a different one. This Watt Kinetic Puppeteer, this is the one where you discard it, and then your opponent's monster moves to a different monster zone. And at first I thought, I was like, oh, it can kind of be used against Sky Striker, put one of their monsters in the main monster zone, they can't activate their spells. But in Crusadia, it actually has some niche applications, and you guys will see those plays. And also, Crusadia going first is just something I'm never used to. I don't know if I'll ever get used to seeing that, but it is a deck that can make advantage going first. It's just usually, the Equal Max is not enough to stop the opponent, even though Equal Max does have a negate. I feel like this card's negate should not have been once per turn, and you would have saw Crusadia players go first. Now, this is actually pretty good. The Crawler Crusadia, the reason people don't play this again is because Crusadia is more or less a go second deck. A trap and a go second deck seems kind of slow, but when this card is actually linked up, or when it's summoned to a Crusadia Link monster, you do get yourself a World Legacy card, which is actually pretty nice. He's going to get himself a World Legacy Succession. Now, the Dark Lord player doesn't really have to worry about playing through that much disruption, because I think there's a heavy Storm Duster somewhere down here, and it's like against Dark Lords, that card could not be, it couldn't be more dead. He's going to get Morningstar off. He's going to summon a couple of them. I think we probably will see soon enough. I think we are going to see a Link summon. Now, currently, this Crusadia Equal Max is unaffected, and I started to become very nervous here because I'm like, oh man, well, before he Link summoned, he had like 4 monsters on board, and I'm like, dude, if he just attacks into your Maximus, then this guy's attack is going to go down. I'm not sure exactly how you're going to save yourself. You might get OTK'd here, but this is actually going to be smart. He's going to use that hand trap. He's going to take the Condemned Dark Lord, and he's going to link it up with the Equal Max, which means now neither monster, or well, his monster is stronger than the monster that was attacking, and that's kind of how you use the card. Now, this is interesting. He decides to work backwards down the ladder, very similar to sometimes how Nightmares will go into Mermaid and then kind of work their way back up. He's doing the same exact thing so that he can make advantage. His opponent tries to Ash him. Once again, it's unaffected by all other card effects, so Ash Blossom isn't going to be doing anything, and now he has exactly what he wants. He has that Condemned Dark Lord in a position where he can basically just easily one-shot her. He does do double battle damage, and obviously he's cranked up super high because he is linked up with 2 monsters. Even if he didn't one-shot him, which is highly unlikely, he would have been able to attack every monster if I'm not mistaken, because he does have the he has the Revival on field, the field spell. That's the first duel. We got one more to show you guys, and it's going to be a little bit Kappa here with the zombie player. I mean, I don't know. I mean, I've never seen Unending Nightmare in zombies. I don't know why you would want to play this card in the meta. I kind of got it maybe like a year ago or earlier this year, when every single deck was like a freaking field spell deck with ABC and Trickstar and like Spiral and stuff like that. But no, not so much. Maybe Invoked back then. Earlier in the year, I kind of felt like Unending Nightmare was super good, but it's not nearly as much field spells in the meta as we had before. Now, the interesting thing is, he has the Effect Veiler. He does not decide to use it, and he even lets this resolve. He even lets the Reunite or the Crusadia Revival resolve. Now, keep in mind, if he does activate Unending Nightmare, there's a high chance that he will just use Equal Max to negate it. But I mean, come on, man, you can't let your opponent just do all of this while you have a couple of disruptive cards. Now, luckily, he didn't get one shot there because he did not have the double battle damage. He top decks a Robbery of Warlords, which I'm actually kind of used to seeing. Doomcaster Dragon is going to steal one of his Crusadia monsters, but get baited once again. He's going to link it up with the Equal Max, and now Equal Max is 8100 attack, and he knows that he has basically lost the duel. So yeah, just a nice little table 500 tech. I guess we can classify the Watt Kinetic Puppeteer. You know what? Let's pause for one quick second and check out the build. All right, so this is what the Crusadia deck looks like on paper. 2 copies of the hand trap, no other hand trap, no kaijus as well. I think that's just because, you know, he's going, or at least planning to go first if available. Same reason why I think you see so many traps in this build. Personally, I just don't think traps are good in Crusadia. I feel like you should be playing this deck very similar to something like Fluffle, although maybe Fluffle do have the option to go first, because I know Fluffle can make totally awesome in like some rare circumstances, but I just don't think like traps are good in Crusadia, because one-shotting the opponent plus kaijus, like there's so much natural synergy there that, you know, if you're going second, there's really no trap at that point you would want when you could just be going first. Even something like impermanence might not be, you know, good in Crusadia, because it's like, would you rather have impermanence or would you rather just have a kaiju? I mean, what can your opponent really do other than maybe number 86, where you kind of just like, you just want your opponent to make their board and then just be able to push through. But this build has some traps in it. This card, Crusadia Vanguard, I think that this card is mainly best if you're playing the level 3 Fire Crusadia, because that's the one that's kind of like a scrap dragon. So without that, not really feeling this. Same thing goes for some of these, but you guys know Solemns fit in, you know, Solemns can fit kind of in any deck. So, you know, this is just an interesting take on the Crusadia build.